Welcome back to This Day in Scottish History. I'm your host, Colin MacDonald. Today, we explore a defining moment in Scottish diplomacy, the signing of the Treaty of Paris on October 23rd, 1295, which solidified the Auld Alliance between Scotland and France. This treaty laid the foundation for one of the most enduring international alliances in European history, lasting over 250 years. The Auld Alliance was born in the context of a turbulent period for both Scotland and France. England, under the rule of Edward I, posed a significant threat to Scottish independence. Edward's ambition to bring Scotland under English control led to a series of invasions and the appointment of puppet rulers, igniting the wars of Scottish independence. France, too, was entangled in ongoing conflicts with England, part of the broader Capetian-Plantagenet rivalry that had embroiled the two kingdoms for centuries. As both Scotland and France faced English aggression, it made strategic sense for them to unite against their common foe. Let's step back for a moment and set the scene for this historic alliance. In the late 13th century, Edward I of England had been asserting his authority over Scotland, following the death of the Scottish King Alexander III in 1286 and his granddaughter Margaret, the Maid of Norway. Scotland found itself without a clear successor. This vacuum of power led to Edward's intervention, as he aimed to control Scotland by supporting John Balliol's claim to the Scottish throne, while effectively treating him as a vassal. Balliol's reign, however, was marred by conflict with Edward, and by 1295 the Scottish king had had enough of Edward's overreach. He sought a way to resist English domination, and the opportunity came in the form of an alliance with France. King Philip IV of France, also embroiled in conflicts with Edward over territories in France, saw the potential in a pact with Scotland. The Treaty of Paris was signed on October 23rd, 1295, uniting these two nations against their shared enemy, England. The Auld Alliance wasn't merely a military pact, it was a comprehensive agreement that included provisions for mutual defence, economic cooperation and cultural exchange. Should either kingdom be attacked by England, the other was bound to come to its aid. This clause proved to be of immense importance throughout the wars that followed. Additionally, the treaty allowed for closer economic ties, including trade agreements, and it even facilitated marriages between the French and Scottish nobility, further cementing their bond. Over the centuries, this alliance had a profound impact on both countries. In times of war, Scottish soldiers fought alongside their French counterparts, most notably at the Battle of Baugé in 1421 during the Hundred Years' War, where the Scots helped the French defeat the English. French military aid was also crucial to Scotland's own efforts to fend off English aggression during the Wars of Scottish Independence. The arrival of French forces and support in Scotland not only bolstered morale, but provided vital resources and manpower to resist Edward I's invasions. The alliance wasn't just about warfare, though. The cultural exchange between Scotland and France deepened through the centuries, leading to an infusion of French customs, language, and even architectural styles in Scotland. Many Scots sought education in French universities, particularly at the University of Paris, while Scottish merchants benefited from trade privileges in France. This close relationship fostered a sense of shared identity, particularly in opposition to English influence. One of the most significant moments in the alliance occurred in 1513 during the Battle of Flodden, when King James IV of Scotland honoured his commitment to France by launching an invasion of England. Unfortunately for Scotland, the battle ended in disaster, with the death of James IV and much of the Scottish nobility. Yet, even in defeat, the Auld Alliance remained intact, demonstrating the depth of commitment between the two nations. The alliance officially came to an end in 1560 with the signing of the Treaty of Edinburgh, as the Protestant Reformation reshaped the political landscape of Europe, with France undergoing its own internal religious conflicts, and with the ascension of Mary, Queen of Scots, who was wed to the French Dauphin but returned to a more Protestant Scotland. The political necessity of the alliance waned. Nevertheless, the legacy of the Auld Alliance endured, especially in the mutual affection and cultural ties that continued long after the formal treaty was dissolved. In fact, traces of the Auld Alliance still linger today. During the First World War, Scottish soldiers were warmly welcomed in France, with many French citizens referring to them as the Auld Allies. In 1942, amid the dark days of the Second World War, Charles de Gaulle famously proclaimed, "In every combat where for 600 years the French were engaged, there were Scotsmen beside them." The Auld Alliance serves as a reminder of the importance of unity in the face of shared adversity. For centuries, Scotland and France stood together against English aggression, and in doing so, shaped the course of European history. On this day, October 23rd, 1295, the Treaty of Paris marked the beginning of a partnership that would resonate through the ages, a powerful example of diplomacy and solidarity. Thank you for joining me today on This Day in Scottish History. I'm Colin MacDonald, reminding you that Scotland's past is full of moments of strength, unity, and resilience. Haste ye back for our next episode.